If you put into Google, how much protein should I eat?
Yeah.
You'll get anything from like the recommended daily allowance, which is pretty low, to like what a bro bodybuilder would eat, which is pretty high. So what do we even do here?
So I like to go off lean body mass. An easy way to look at that is it's your total weight minus your body fat. And people get like a little bit hell-bent about this, like, oh, like how do I know my body fat percentage? So we've made a calorie quiz where you can go through and there's like 9 images and it's like, which one of these do you think you look closest to in a range of body fat percentage? So like, let's say you're 200 pounds and, you know, we think you're, 20% body fat, that would be 40 pounds of fat. So let's say your lean body mass is 160 pounds and we do 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass. So that'd be 160 grams of protein for that person. That's 20% body fat's actually really lean for a woman.
Yeah.
So, you if you were that weight at that body fat percentage, you're probably going to be quite tall as well. I would have a guess. But yeah, that's roughly what we go for. There's other, I think you've shared a few that other studies back up where you can just basically take it off your weight. This I just find gets you the amount of protein that you need without needing an excessive amount of protein where you don't get to spend those calories on carbs and fats instead.
Yeah, and I think what's helpful as well is if you have got an extra bit of body fat and you're trying to eat 200 grams of protein, that is a lot.
Yes.
Actually, a really helpful way of looking at it that I heard someone say is eat for the body you're trying to get to. So that's another option. So like, what's your goal weight? Say it's 140 pounds. You could eat for that amount because that's probably the right amount of lean muscle as well, if you were going to be training to get there and eating the right way to get there. But if you have looked at like RDAs or recommended daily allowances and you're hearing like 140s, 200s, what are these guys talking about? Because apparently I only need like 50 grams.
Yeah.
And that's what, if you look on, if you're in America, like the national guidelines, and in the UK, the NHS guidelines will tell you that it's about 0.8 grams per kilo, as we've said, 1 gram minimum. Yeah. But what we want to really emphasize today is that will be your baseline. Like that's what you need as a recommended daily minimum, but that's just to be okay.
Yeah.
And actually, if you want to thrive and if you want to feel strong and you want to train with weights, which we recommend everybody does 3 times a week at least, then you're going to need a little bit more than that to replenish your muscles.
So that's 0.8 per kilo.
Yes.
So that, I mean, I'm about 95 kilos. So like, let's say that would be like 80 or like 75 for me. I'm having like over double that on a daily basis. Which again, like as you're saying, like as a baseline, like that's probably like the least that you want to be getting. But ideally, probably a lot more. Yeah.
And it would tell me to have 50 grams.
Yeah.
Whereas I aim for 100 at least. So we do often talk about that 100 actually. So it's worth talking about where that comes from, because if you follow us on social media, you would have probably seen we say like aim for 100 grams or aim for 25 to 30 grams per meal. And that's really, again, it's like a starting point.
Yeah.
It isn't a one size fits all because everybody is different sizes, different goals, different body compositions. But really, most people are quite below that.
Yeah, like I'd say typically when we see new clients come on board or we get them to track the food and see where they're at, some people are somewhere between like 20 and 60 grams a day. So we know like just even as a baseline of them hitting 100, like that's gonna often give an improvement from where they currently are.